Welcome down on the farm. It's Thursday. We're going to take you along with us as we put up the harvest today. First up on the list is getting the dehydrator cleaned out so we can fill it up again. The dehydrator is empty, we're gonna fill it back up, and we're going to start with some green beans, which is the last thing that we just took out and put in the bag. We're dehydrating those because I don't like to pressure can, and I love to dehydrate. And that last batch, they turned out just fine. We stuck them in there even without blanching, and they will work great for soups and stews and stir fries in the winter. So let's get to it. I got all of the green beans in there that we had snapped and ready to go. I'm going to close this up for now, and I'm going to turn it on. And off it goes. Now it's time to pick more beans. You can see we have some in there from this morning, but I gotta go finish picking. To put the bread in the oven. I'm back out here. We took care of the bread and I changed into something a little bit cooler. It's really hot and attempted to put my hair up. Back to the beans we go. Good morning from down on the farm. It's a new day. We didn't end up getting our Thursday video up, so you're seeing this today. My apologies. We had some special company come, and there's a bee on my camera. And it took us away from the video camera. So we're back today to finish up our video on dehydrating the harvest. And we are off to finish picking green beans and tomatoes and getting those in the dehydrator. September's here and it's harvest time, so we are gathering lots of stuff from the garden this week and we are getting it put up. Now our favorite way to put up our harvest is to dehydrate it, and let me tell you a few reasons why. One reason is because it doesn't take very much prep work to get it into the dehydrator, and the dehydrator will run while we are still working. Something that we don't have to keep our eye on while it's running so much. Another reason is because I just don't like canning. I don't mind water bath canning, but pressure canning, it takes a lot of time to watch. It takes to prepare the jars and to get them in the pressure canner and make sure everything's at the right temperature and the lids are right and that the children aren't around the hot jars or the pressure canner. The other reason why we dehydrate our harvest is because it helps keep the nutritional value in the food. The whole idea of canning is that you kill everything that's alive in the jar so that it doesn't grow any harmful bacteria. Now when you do that, it also kills off a lot of nutrients, and by dehydrating you preserve a lot of those nutrients right there in the produce. Another way that dehydrating saves time is like when you make tomato sauce from your garden tomatoes. You have to cook them down, and it takes a really long time to get all that liquid out of the tomatoes, and then you make your sauce and then you can it, so it's several steps at one time. Now if you dehydrate your tomatoes, you're instantly getting that moisture out of the tomatoes before you make your tomato sauce, and then you just add a little bit of moisture when you're ready to rehydrate them and turn them into sauce, and we skip the whole entire canning process. Whereas if you canned your sauce, you're adding a whole nother step to preserve the tomatoes until you're ready to use them. And when you dehydrate them, you're skipping that when you dehydrate them and just going straight to making the sauce. All done picking beans, almost another 5-gallon pail. That's about what we got yesterday. The ones yesterday have been snapped, and now these are gonna get snapped too. While they're snapping those, I'm going to pick tomatoes. They don't know they're snapping them yet, but they will soon. Another reason we like to dehydrate a lot of our harvest is because of storage. Dehydrating doesn't require any special storage. You just put it in a bag or in a jar and keep it in a dark, cool place until you're ready. So with freezing, you have to pay for the electricity to have it in the freezer. With fermenting, you have to have the right temperature so that it doesn't continue to ferment. And canning is probably the next best storage solution because nothing else is needed, aside from the same conditions as dehydrating, which is just a cool, dry storing area, preferably out of the light. So those are just a few reasons we like to dehydrate. Now that's not the only way that we preserve our food. We do all of the methods. We just prefer to dehydrate the food when possible. The freezer's great too, but our freezer is full and our fermentation storage is full, and so we're packing the food wherever we can put it so that we have great homegrown organic produce even through the winter. How do you prefer to store your food? Let us know in the comment section below. So back to the harvest we go. Well, I only got a little tiny bit way through the garden, and my bucket's full. So we're gonna process what we have and call that the end of the video. Thanks for joining us down on the farm. We hope you enjoyed watching how we put our harvest through the dehydrator. We will see you next week. St. Fiacre's Farm.
Fiacre.
Fiacre?
Fiacre?
Fiacre.
We will see you next week.